is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Optimized You, the podcast to help you transform your health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, identity, and create lasting change in your life. And this week, I'm actually kind of changing. So we're changing a lot of stuff. As you've seen, we had Matt join us on the podcast, or join me on the podcast as my co-host going forward. And guys, we are going to be providing so much value for you all going forward. We've already recorded a few other episodes, and they were some of the best ones that we've had on this podcast. We just kind of go back really good. And that's the reason why I brought him on, is he knows his shit. Me and him align a lot on philosophies around health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, all that stuff. And it's going to bring in a different perspective, because I think it's huge to have different perspectives coming at you on a lot of this stuff. So hopefully you enjoy that, and you enjoy all the different things we're going to be doing for you all going forward to provide as much value as possible. And with that, this has been my self-love journey. I'm going to do a little shift on this though. And so I think my self-love journey falls under the category of overcoming myself, which is a journey that all of us are on. I think it's a never ending journey of literally overcoming yourself every day, every week, every month, every year, trying to grow, trying to get a little bit better. And so on this podcast episode, which is and has been my self-love journey, I'm shifting it to overcoming myself, because that is truly what I'm after. And that includes self-love, self-acceptance, self-belief. It includes me changing my mindset. It includes my habits. It includes a lot of different things that I talk about on here. And so with that going forward, I'm going to call that I'm going to call that overcoming myself. And I've been struggling a lot. I've talked about that in the last few. I've been falling back into some old patterns. I've been struggling with some binge eating. I've been struggling with doing a lot of things that are not serving me and not moving in the right direction. And what I've realized is I've had a lot of time to think here the last few days, because yesterday was a rough day. I'll be honest. Yesterday was a rough day. I binged again, right? I binged again. It's been a struggle. And I was like, you know what? Enough's enough. Enough's enough. I need to dig into this more. And I was just like, today I woke up, and I'm recording this very early in the morning, because I've been doing a lot of thinking today, and I've put into place some different things. And I wanted to share that with you all, and wanted to provide some accountability for myself as well. So I've been thinking more about the habits that I have. And in the past, I've had a lot of really, really good habits that have kept me, when I'm feeling my best, it's because of the habits, because of the discipline. And I think that a lot of self-discipline comes from the habits that we have, and the limit, or the different things we have in place throughout our day that help us become and be the person that we want to be. And so what I did today is I thought of, what are the things that I'm doing that are really taking away from what I want to be? And first off, what I did is this. Ryan Murphy actually talked about this, your North Star. And what I thought of is what's really important to me in my life, right? What's really important to me? And I came up with this. I came up with my family and my friends are very, very important to me. I came up with that feeling my best is very important to me. I want to feel best. I want to feel clear. I want to have a good mindset, all of this stuff. My growth and learning is huge. I am such a person who is trying to grow, trying to learn. I think sometimes I try to do it a little bit too much, and it can cause me to try to apply a lot of different things at once. And then lastly is making a positive impact in people's lives, helping and serving. So those are the 4 things I came up with that are very important to me in my life. And I never really sat down and aligned on those things. Okay, what are the true important things to myself? And so I would challenge you to do that. And if you want to learn more about that, go back to Ryan Murphy's episode, which we just had released 2 weeks ago, when this is coming out, 2 weeks ago. And so I figured out what's important to me. And then from there, I figured out what I was doing in my life to draw from those things. And so what are the things that are going to help me feel my best? Well, number one, sleep, right? And I have been not doing a great job on my sleep routines for the last, I'd say, month or two. I've slipped on that. I've been on my phone a lot later at night. I've been watching a lot more TV and Netflix later at night. And that's taking away from my sleep, which is taking away from my energy the next day, my mindset, my willingness, and just to do the things that I know I need to do to move the needle forward, and all of the things that for my business, for myself, all of these different things that I'm working on, right? And so what I did today is I'm putting in place a 7 p.m. hard cutoff time from screens. This is an hour and a half before I generally go to bed. I'm putting this in place. And obviously, let's be honest here, right? Like sometimes this hard cutoff time is not going to be possible, right? You have certain things that come up, but whenever possible, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get away from screens. If that means playing card games, if that means, reading, just doing some things that are not around screens in the last hour and a half before bed. I think first off, this helps me with my mental health because the more I'm around screens, it translates a lot. Like the more I'm on social media, the more I'm on screens, I see a very close translation with how I actually feel mentally, my mindset, my mental health. All of these different things are very closely correlated. So 7 p.m. hard cutoff time. Number 2 that I'm putting in place is around screen time as well. I've noticed that my screen time has been upwards of 5-6 hours a day, which is right. It's right in line with how I've been feeling, right? I haven't been feeling great. I haven't been sleeping great. Mentally, I haven't been there recently. The last few weeks just has not been fully mentally there. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to start with 3 hours a day. I'm cutting my screen time down to 3 hours a day max. And I want to move it to under 2 hours. That's my goal, is to get this under 2, but I'm going to start at 3 because I have been really high. I don't want to just go to some really unrealistic thing. And so cutting my screen time down, this is going to help me feel better as well. This is going to help with growth and learning just because I'm going to be in a better state to do that and to be able to put more in on that side of things. Number 3, my nutrition has slipped, which is obviously not made it easy for me to have as much energy, to sleep as good, all of these different things that lead me to feeling my best throughout the day. And so I also haven't been tracking for a long time. And I think it's not the self-accountability that I need. And so what I'm doing is that I'm starting to track and log every day that I can. And so when I'm traveling, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to still do my best, but just every day that I can, I'm going to track and log everything so that I hold myself to what I should be eating and make sure that I am putting in place all the things to help me feel my best. Because that is when I truly feel like I can impact as many lives as possible, is when I feel my best. And so those are kind of those things where it's like, if I do all the things to help myself feel my best, I'm the best version of myself for my family, for my friends. I have more bandwidth for everybody, my clients. I can impact more lives and help more people. And so a lot of these things are around that. And so I'm tracking my food. And then lastly, what I'm doing is I am going to set up something like it's a Klondike bar, something sweet, something that's like one of those things that, like ice cream, sweet, stuff like that. I'm going to make sure I have something every day that is along those lines. I'm going to schedule it in, and I am going to do this because, like I've been talking about, I've been binging. And I think a lot of this has been my view on food has kind of shifted a little bit in my head. And I've been getting back to some of those, like, oh, this food's not good. It's off limits. And even though I do mix them in, I don't mix them in enough, I think. And then it leads to me binging on candy and binging on some different things that I've been restricting. And so I realized that. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to make sure I eat these things every day. And I'm not going to eat a ton of them. I'm just going to have one. Like if I get a bunch of Klondike bars or something like that, that's ice cream that is sweet, that has some chocolate on it as well, then that's going to help curb my sweet tooth. It's going to help include all those favorite foods in. And it's going to make sure that I don't deprive myself throughout the week. And so those are the big things that I'm doing, that I'm going to hold myself to every day to make sure that I feel good. Because if I can put these things in place that allow me to feel my best, as you saw, a lot of these things are in place to help me feel my best mentally and physically, so that I can be the best version of myself for everybody else and hit all of those other values and those things that are important to me. Because I think that's where it stems. A lot of people, they rate family, other people above themselves. And that pulls away from you feeling your best. If you rate your health and your fitness and you focus on feeling your best and being in the best shape possible and eating quality foods and all of these things that allow you to sleep better, have more energy, mentally be in a better spot, all of these things are going to allow you to really have more time and have more energy to put towards all of the people that are the most important in your life. And that goes for your husband, your wife, your kids, your friends, everybody in your life. Because I think that a lot of people have it backwards, in that you do everything for everybody else and it doesn't leave anything for you. And you're not filling your own cup up. And when we do this, then we get into a place where we're so burned out, we're not even giving our best to these people in our lives. So we're putting so much towards these other people that we're giving them 30% of what we actually have. When you fill your own cup up and you're like, oh, I got all this energy, then guess what? You are more present for these people. You are a better version of yourself for these people in your life. And so that's what I have for you today. I'm doing this to hold myself accountable to these things and also to understand, like, you can go through these steps as well. If you figured out that you're not doing the things you know you need to do, why not figure out what's truly important to yourself? Because those things are going to help guide your decisions going forward. If you can have a listing of 3 to 5 different things that can guide every decision, your North Star, what Ryan talks about. He talks about the North Star. This is your thing that guides everything that you do. And if you can do that and understand also that there's going to be times that you slip up, but if you can catch yourself and do this and continue to get better and continue to prioritize all of these things, then guess what? You're going to be able to get to where you want to be. You're going to be the best version of yourself. You're going to continue growing and just becoming better every day, every week, getting 1% better. And just, it's going to be a crazy shift. And so let's all do this together. Let's all figure out what our habits are that we're doing that are pulling away from what we want to be. Things we're doing we're not serving us. Let's align on what we truly want in this world and what's truly important to us. And let's start making decisions and putting in place some things to hold ourselves accountable to being our best versions of ourselves. So hopefully this has been helpful. If it was, please make sure you like, you comment, subscribe, rate us on Apple, Spotify. All those things really help us grow this podcast. I'll continue coming at you every week with a new Overcoming Myself episode where it's just the 10 minutes every week of what I'm doing to get better and get into a better place with myself and get more confidence and love myself more and all of these things that we're all trying to do to overcome ourselves on a daily basis. So thank you all for listening, for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.